What's up, you guys? I don't know if anyone's going to listen to this, but this is Dylan Hennig and my
BJ
father,
Hennig.
BJ Hennig. This is going to be our first episode of what we're going to attempt to make as a podcast. I'll be the primary. He may be an intermediate guest, but he's fun to have on this, so we'll try it out like this for the first time. So, I am an NBA junkie, so it's what I like to talk about. So, to start, we're just gonna go full free agency. How does that sound?
That sounds cool. Hey,
Sounds fun.
how long?
Yeah.
How long is a podcast supposed to go? A
Typically,
few seconds or minutes or?
an hour.
Okay,
so.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. A few seconds.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So again, that's BJ right there. He has a lot of athletic playing experience. He played in college, not really, but
I'm an athlete.
he's a YMCA coach, by the way. So when he talks about how players relate on the floor, he's at the top of his
I
game.
thought we were going to talk about the NBA free agency.
All right, so again, NBA trades. So I feel like I did decent notes on each topic, so I thought we could start with the stuff that will probably be a little less appealing and end with topics you enjoy, hence
Okay.
Lakers. So let's start with D-Rose to the Pistons. What do you think about that, BJ?
Yesterday's news. D Rose to the Pistons. Yesterday's Rookie of the Year. Yesterday's All-Star. Yesterday's point guard.
Okay, I think it. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to make his money, but I don't think the Pistons are going to do much. They still got
It's
Blake.
not a big move.
They still got Blake, right?
It's not a big move, people. Yeah, they do.
Wow. That's still
But
not
that's
make a
not
difference.
a
Yeah.
super appealing team. You know,
Blake and D Rose are
That's-
not getting you.
I mean, that's honestly about it. But you know, just had to throw that in there, just to spice it
Good
up.
topic.
But yeah, and this one was a little more interesting. So I don't know if you knew about this one. I messaged you, Mom, but Iggy of the Warriors, he was traded to the Grizzlies at first, but they actually bought him out and then waived him because, you know, they're one of those tanking teams, so they took advantage of that with all their cap money. And so now he's open to possibly sign with your Lakers.
Nice.
Big LeBron fan here, so what do you think about that?
Now, that's news to me. I didn't know that. I don't really understand how that works when you take someone and then buy them out and put them on waivers. I don't get that. But if the Lakers get him, I'm good with that.
What I know about is that it usually seems to be the less competitive teams that take advantage of the buyout, because I think they quite literally buy out the player's contract, hence they have the more money to spend when it's expiring or when they're not. Like it happened with Melo last year with the Hawks. Remember, he went to the Hawks for like a day, and there were some jokes, you know, about him getting a jersey and stuff, but he didn't even play a game with the Hawks and got bought out, so it's kind of the same thing.
That's
So
cool.
technically I've been a Grizzly for the day,
I
but
don't understand.
now
but
he's
that's
up.
Cool.
Long story short, though, he's on the market for the Lakers now.
If he goes to the Lakers,
Completely free agent.
LeBron and Iggy, I think, go way back. I think they're like close.
I don't know if this is true,
It's gonna
folks,
work out.
but
It's gonna work out well.
one thing is, though, he's not a shooter. Once again,
Since when do you need
he
shooters
hits clutch
around?
threes, but
Since when do you need shooters around LeBron? I mean,
did you watch 2018-19?
Oh yeah. Anyway,
I heard you say that
what's
quite
next
a bit.
on your list?
My little list. Well, let's stretch this out, the Iggy thing, a little bit.
Okay.
Just to spice it, like what? I'm just curious or entertained if you don't have any ideas. Do you have any other options for him?
Iggy,
Yeah,
retire, quit where you're head.
he's old. Oh, and do you think I
No,
saw
he's
this
not-
on?
Is he old?
He's relatively old, yeah.
Yeah. See,
He's 30 plus for sure. I don't know if
just-
he's 35 plus.
I've just
but-
been hearing Iggy's name for a long time now.
Yeah, you have. And I don't know. I saw on the NBA Instagram page, I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but do you think his number should be retired in Golden State? I don't know about that, but it did point out 6 seasons, 3 championships, and he did get a Finals MVP off the bench.
Yeah, Finals
For the
MVP
first time
off
ever.
the bench, picking up Stephanie, picking up Kyle Thompson, whatever his name is.
Clay Thompson.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He knows his stuff, but he's a
So-
name struggler sometimes.
They probably won't retire his number though. One MVP.
I doubt it.
I doubt it is good enough to retire a number.
On that tangent, of a topic. Do you think they should retire, or do you think they should not allow anyone to wear KD's number? I saw that today.
Why?
That Bob Myers apparently said that. Warriors
Why?
GM. I don't know about that.
I think that's the Warriors GM just trying to be...
Just loving Durant, just
trying to
adding...
make it okay that they tore up his Achilles and tore him up and they didn't even get a championship for it. So...
But again, he was only there for, 3 seasons? And
yeah.
got
3 seasons.
2 finals MVPs for him. And he proved how valuable he was, kind of, by tearing his Achilles, ironically. Which we hope he gets better. I don't know about him. Mr. Anyone who's ever on the Warriors.
I hope he gets better. I'm not wishing bad things.
He, fun fact, actually tore his Achilles playing indoor soccer. Big indoor soccer player. But we know you don't want to hear about our athletic talents, so
Not me.
we'll go on. So, this one's like a little bit intriguing, and I just like talking about the Sixers. It's Al Horford is now a Sixer. I read today. And so they're an intriguing team. Just like last year, they don't have Jimmy Butler anymore, who's going to be in Miami, and we can talk about that later. But it's kind of the same thing of last year when they had him. Like, they now have, a squad of 4 really talented players, and Tobias Harris is staying, Ben Simmons, Horford now, and then who am I leaving now? Embiid, of course, Embiid. And not to mention in the Miami trade, they're getting Josh Richardson, who I know people who aren't Miami fans don't know him, but Chris Broussard himself even said that guy is a shooter, and what you need in the NBA is shooters. And
you do need shooters.
They're intriguing. So what do you think? Do you think they're a contender or a pretender?
Pretender, for sure.
You think?
Love the Sixers roster. Don't know all the moves they've made to this point, but it sounds to me like, look, there's a reason they went and got Jimmy, because they weren't good enough without Jimmy, and they went and got him. Now Jimmy's gone, so I think they're probably, even though they got some of these other guys coming in, they still got some great players, great young players. It's like they're going to be almost good enough again, but not good enough. That's just my opinion, because Jimmy Buckets is Jimmy Buckets.
That's right, Jimmy Buckets.
He left him, and
yeah, he did.
Philly
voluntarily.
may have some psycho stuff going on like Boston did. Like I don't know that.
They had in a first round series a player texting on their phone, Amir Johnson. It was caught that he was apparently maybe texting his daughter who was sick. So if that was the truth, then we. But at the same time, there were some weird things said.
And laughing at her.
Yeah, and like Embiid's looking at it too, and is it really Embiid's business what
not what happened?
Amir Johnson's daughter is doing? So yeah, they definitely. I mean, the one thing though is Horford, not an ego guy at all, completely team focused, a veteran, still can play, still can ball with the way he plays, but really team oriented, has a lot of experience. And Butler, more clutch, but not as much a team guy, I would say. Jimmy Butler?
Definitely not. Maybe a team guy in a different way.
Yeah.
A team guy not in the sense
he wants to win, but...
The old vet, the wily old vet who shows up and gets it done. But a team player in terms of he wants to win.
Yeah.
And if you help him win, I think he likes you. Plus, it's Jimmy.
So.
It's Jimmy. It's not James.
That's right. I remember that line. His name's Jimmy. Don't forget it. All right. Let's shift to this. What about draft night? I'm not a huge college basketball guy unless it gets to March Madness, but like this year was kind of big. I'm just thinking about, Zion's a Pelican and RJ Barrett in the draft. I think RJ went to the Knicks. Is that right? I don't know. I'd have to fact check that one. But
they're gonna build a championship around RJ.
I don't know about that. They now have the services of Julius Randle though in the Knicks, so I'm sure that'll be big time. But yeah, RJ Barrett went to the Knicks. That'll help them.
So I got a question, Dylan.
Yeah.
Who is Julius Randle, and why are the Knicks bragging that they have Julius Randle?
Well, first of all, where did you get that they're bragging?
Well, because I've heard him. I've heard him talking about it. What's the guy's
He's
name?
went to Kentucky, remember? Left-handed. Think he's officially a center power forward. He has some good overall just ball handling and attack skill for a big guy because he's a little on the smaller end. He actually plays a little bit like Zion, I'd say. They're both lefties too. Played for the Lakers, number 30, then for the Pelicans for that 1 year.
Doesn't sound too good.
Yes, but
for the Knicks.
They're doing that instead of signing some, for sure, no-name guy. It's like a really big contract and wasting their money, like a couple of teams, including my Heat did a few years ago when apparently the TV money deals came out to give them more spending money.
There you go.
Yeah. Again, I'm not much into college basketball, but draft night is pretty exciting because they just basically showed Zion a whole bunch. That was kind of sarcasm, but the Heat got Tyler Hero out of Kentucky, who didn't watch too much of him, but apparently he's a good shooter. That'll help. The Heat need a little bit of shooting, but they really need a solid backup point guard for Dragic. And
is the Jimmy deal dead?
The Jimmy deal is through again. They adjusted it, and we can talk about that later because I kind of got the gist of it. So, Pelicans. That's one of the couple of teams I feel like are worth talking about. Again, I think they're really interesting. I think they can be a minor threat in the playoffs, but I don't think they'll be legit because they have a lot of talent, and what everyone knocks on it is that it's young talent, but it's a lot of young talent, and Zion, Ingram, Ball now, if you can get a shot, that'd be even better. They still have Drew Holiday, I think, and they signed J.J. Redick, who's a shooter, and that's another really key move. So what do you think, pretender or contender type of thing with them?
I think almost contender.
Almost.
They're young.
For the West or for the championship?
Just in the playoffs. They should make the playoffs, but even the playoffs can be a stretch with all those new players. And I would just wonder what's the difference between this Pelicans team and the Pelicans team that KD left. They've got a few more pieces. But KD left because KD. AD left because there's nothing. Yeah, name struggles because they never did anything to build the roster around them. So we'll see. And you know me, I don't get excited about these good, like a good supporting cast, right?
You don't, yeah.
Like the Pelicans team sounds like the Warriors bench.
You like the veterans, right?
Yeah. So
guys who have actually proven themselves, hence LeBron.
I like the big superstars getting together, colluding.
But remember, AD doesn't have too much experience.
Calling the shots, doing things that the NBA ownership, which they don't want to be owners now, but they're owners, don't want. I love that.
Speaking of owners, though, or the GM side of things, they did make a big move to get David Griffin at GM, the Pelicans, and as I've heard from some of the shows on TV and looking around, you got to think that that guy was unemployed for, I think, 2 years, but everyone kind of gave LeBron the credit for that Cavs championship, which obviously much deserved, and Kyrie's shot, Kevin Love's not block defense, LeBron's block, Kyrie's shot, Kevin Love's stop. But remember that David Griffin was the invisible hand behind all the trades and extra pieces that got them that team. And then instantly comes to the Pelicans, they get some, draft progress and some free agent progress. So that's worth something.
How long was he in Cleveland?
He was in Cleveland. I don't want to make a guess on Cleveland, but he was there for the whole second LeBron tenure for sure.
So first thing that went through my mind is exactly what you said. People are being critical of is what did he do before LeBron got to Cleveland?
True.
And what did he do after LeBron left Cleveland? And I agree. He went out and got Kevin Love, and he got Kyrie, but part of that too was LeBron wasn't coming back to Cleveland if they screwed around and didn't go out and sign some of those guys. So, anyway.
But nevertheless, in the moment, he was the man behind the wheel when they got Zion after AD left and it looked like things may go south. And he still got Zion. And he still got Ingram and Ball and Josh Hart, which is still a good pickup. And they have some good players left. And then now JJ Redick. Like, it just kind of seems like, maybe there's some management success going on. Because
Maybe.
you didn't hear about some veteran, players like Redick signing when AD was there, like you said. So, and AD doesn't seem high maintenance or anything. So maybe that's just a management thing that they kind of fixed with Griffin. We'll see.
So Griffin so far. I mean Zion, he picked. He didn't do anything.
I mean, yeah, he was gonna be picked.
So who's their next best guy? You mentioned.
Well, the trade they got to go through
for
Ball, Ingram, Hart, and
Ingram.
some draft picks in the future, by the way.
Ball, Ingram, and a lot of draft picks.
Which the Lakers got AD, but I think personally that the Pelicans maybe won that trade long-term wise.
Well, depending what they do.
Right.
So if they're doing the same thing 2 or 3 years from now, trying to get Zion to be happy or get someone, we'll see. I'm skeptical because it's the Pelicans and.
So you just want them to be able to prove themselves, not just have young.
I just want LA to win it all.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I mentioned that.
You haven't mentioned it, but I'm sure you've implied it. What seed do you think they're going to be in the playoffs?
LA?
I just like thinking of that. No, Pelicans.
Oh, you still want to talk about Pelicans?
They're interesting to me.
I'm kidding.
You don't like those young teams and those. I know you do. You like them more.
They'll be the 8th seed.
I understand. Yeah, I get that. Zion's first season. Bunch of young guys.
Yeah,
like we said.
That's my guess. 8th seed.
Okay, and so, what do you think of Kemba to the Celtics? I think that's a pretty interesting one because Kemba Walker to me is actually team-wise a slight upgrade from Kyrie Irving at point guard. Kemba Walker, his last several seasons with the Charlotte Hornets, kind of was one of those stars who, at point guard, did his thing. Went to Kentucky, I think, in college. But UConn, yeah, that's right. But, yeah, and so he was kind of that quiet star because the Hornets were never super relevant, but he did his thing there. When they played the Heat in the first round of the playoffs back in 2016, I think it was, he made a few splashes of, clutch DNA with some big shots against the Heat late in close games and stuff. But other than that, he hasn't really proven himself yet. But I think it's a good, solid upgrade because Kyrie was really polarizing this flat earth theory stuff off the court, all that crap, and he's superbly talented, but I read a TNT post this past week that Kemba Walker actually averaged more points than Kyrie this past season, and their shooting percentages and three-point percentages were about the same. Assist-wise, it was about equal, and I don't know, Kemba Walker's definitely more of a team guy, so what do you think?
I agree with you. I think it may be an upgrade.
Yeah.
I think the whole Kemba for Kyrie thing makes me think about Kyrie more than it does Kemba. And Kemba's a solid point guard. Kyrie Irving is a generational point guard.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the top 50 players ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's incredible. He also hasn't done it on his own yet.
Right.
And he's still running for whatever reason.
Just still running for his fame.
Yeah, Brooklyn's close to home and his fame, but I'm telling you, I think it is an upgrade because Kemba Walker seems to be just more even keeled, level-headed. You need that from a point guard. You don't have to have some, crazy man out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, so we'll see. I think again, I'm curious to see how psycho things get in Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie on the same roster. You talk about basket cases. Holy moly!
Two really sensitive guys and interesting opinions.
You think a little sensitive? Yes, I agree. So we'll see. But Celtics, I think, are better off than a lot of these teams have been. They're better off, I think, than the Pelicans are going to be. I think they've still got enough core talent because once again, Boston was building that up before Kyrie got there,
Right.
and I mean they were really underwhelming this year, if you ask me, with Kyrie. So
And when Kyrie was out, that was when Tatum and Brown and all those young guys, Rozier, that's when they sprouted because when Kyrie's there, he's talented, but he's kind of a ball dominant point guard, which in Brad Stevens' whole system of numbers and who gets the points and selfless play, Kyrie, he can be selfless when he knows someone's better than him, a la the Cavs championship, and he knew he still got a shot at the end, which even despite that, he still left LeBron, which is kind of weird. But again, yeah, I think this is one of those interesting ones, kind of like you said, that Kyrie's definitely the more talented, more generationally talent, has won a championship, but Kemba may actually make that team better, even though he's definitely not even close, I would say, in terms of pure talent, just because he's still a scorer, still really loves to play basketball, it seems like, just kind of seems like a nice guy, and I feel like he'll buy in, but we haven't seen it yet, so we'll see. He has more experience than, say, even Zion, though. Even Zion's so hyped, so we'll see that one. All right.
one other thought on that.
What's up?
Is the other difference between Kyrie and a lot of these other point guards like that is those other point guards brought championships to the teams that they joined. D Wade brought championships to Miami.
He did.
LeBron has brought championships to Cleveland. I know he wasn't the point guard.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson brought championships to LA. Who else? Keep going down the list. Help me out. Kyrie hasn't brought. I mean, Stephanie brought a championship to Sacramento.
Tony Parker was huge in all the Spurs championships.
Those guys. So, love Kyrie's game. I wish he was a little bit less of a basket case. So go Kemba.
And it's also a lot of self-awareness, though, about where you fit in the tiers of stars. Like, even LeBron knew he had to have Dwayne Wade, who was slightly lower than him in talent, to win his first one in Miami. But then the reverse, even D Wade, he knew, like, that city of Miami loved him and still loves him, his legacy and everything, and he knew that it was okay for him to take a backseat, let it be LeBron's team, LeBron get the attention, LeBron get the media for those 4 years they were together, and it paid off in 2 out of 4 championships and 4 straight finals appearances. So, and they still love him for it in turn for doing that, and he's beloved by the city. So that's why. And then you have obviously those Spurs teams, like we talked about. They were definitely selfless with it. That's that thing Kyrie doesn't have, is he doesn't know how to know when he needs to take a back seat. He wants to be the man, but then he realizes, I want to win too, and he doesn't really seem to have the DNA of a man and win guy.
He's got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So.
Superbly talented, and I think a really smart guy too, but lots of communication issues, I guess, with his teammates. I guess the best way to put it. I don't know. All right, time to talk about your favorite team, the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if you saw this. I sent you a text about it, but they signed D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I feel bad for
him. You feel bad for him or them?
I do. He's going to go out there with all them?
Big Warriors fan right here. Not really.
No, I think the Warriors will be fine, actually. They still have 3 All-Stars. They're going to have to get healthy again. I know that'll take a while, but they have Steph. What else do they need?
They officially re-signed Clay to a max, and so
yeah.
And the thing about Clay is there's still a chance he could come back for playoff time. Apparently, with his injury, even though it's an ACL. So if they're able to do their thing with just Steph, Draymond, and D Loading, his nickname is, then maybe they can delay that comeback from Clay, and he'll be even healthier.
They're gonna be good again. I think the reality about the fact that they're not one of the greatest franchises of all time is going to start to come out too. Because I was thinking about this. Think about this. In the time that Steph has been there, since they've gotten good, they went to what, 6 championships in a row? Is that right?
5, I think.
5. How many did they win?
They won 3. 3.
3?
Yeah.
You sure?
Not in a row either.
Not in a row. You sure they didn't play in 6 championships? Either way. 3 of 5.
Cavs 2015, Cavs 2016, Cavs 2017, Cavs 2018, Raptors 2019. Yeah, 5.
Okay. So
and they only won.
they're 3 of 5
only
with 3 to 4 All-Stars.
Yeah.
How many championships has LeBron played in?
He's played in
different teams in a row.
It's 8 or 9.
8 or 9, and how many championships?
And it was like one of them was 8 in a row. So
how many championships?
3.
3, baby. So,
well, that's
so let's talk about the greatest.
That's more finals.
Let's compare the
so.
greatest. Yeah, but it's also one of the greatest franchises ever compared to one guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that if you compare the Lakers to LeBron. If you compare Chicago to LeBron, you can't. That doesn't work anywhere else other than in Golden State's example.
Yeah, it was his record in the finals is 3-6. LeBron's, and so yeah, he's been to 9 total because he had that one outlier against the Spurs, and then he was in 8 in a row with the Heat and then the Cavs.
I mean, so they're it's a great franchise. It's a great team. It's not the greatest of all time.
But you do know they're including like when Durant was there, like when they were full. That team was hard to beat.
Yeah, and that team got 1 championship.
Yeah, I will say the thing that I agree on is that fact check real quick. They won back to back when they had KD.
Okay, make your point.
That team's really hard to beat, I will say. But I will say with the LeBron thing, it is hard to gauge how dominant a team really was. Because take his 2007 finals, he played against the Spurs. I don't even know if you remember it because it wasn't even like worth remembering. He got swept, and Spurs won their championship 2007. But then you look, it was Spurs, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, that whole crew, Popovich, Bruce Bowen, I think maybe still.
Yeah,
then you had LeBron
greats.
And Ilgauskas. I don't even know if I said it right. He was a buddy. He was kind of valuable to the Cavs, but I don't even know where the guy is anymore. I don't remember. I know some of the players' names, but that's just because I'm good at remembering the names. They're not really relevant now, though. Eric Snow, I think, was one guy's name. Mo Williams. Have you even ever heard of these dudes? I don't.
Oh yeah.
They were his helpers, but I mean, he had zero help. People talked about the 2018 where he went against the Warriors again, and at least he had Kevin Love. Kevin Love was a lot better than some of those other guys, and think about it, they still felt like he had zero help. Even the best player in the world right now, and even arguably best of all time, has got to have help to win a title. Yeah. So I agree with you on that maybe Golden State isn't that good because if they were as good as everyone hyped up, then why wasn't it 5 in a row? Is that kind of what you're saying? Why wasn't it just bing, bang, boom if they're that good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or why was it close when LeBron played them without
for some of the years,
Love and Kyrie? It was still a close series. No one remembers that it was
the one outlier I would say was 2017 because the Cavs still had Kyrie at that point. Mm-hmm. And that one they won in 5 games. And the Cavs had that one Game 4 blowout, but they were down 3-0 and no one's ever come back from that. So it was kind of a done deal. But every other game, it's they play them. They weren't even blowouts, but just the feel of it is Cavs would come back, try to play close, but they'd choke and then...
Let me write that down. You just made another point for me.
Yeah.
That the greatest team of all time is the only team ever to lose after going up 3-0 in a championship.
3-1 it was.
Or 3-1.
But yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Ever.
That is a true point. But that's a good team though. I know I'm a little like Durant, Thompson, Curry, Green.
Just wait till Iggy goes to LA. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so D'Angelo Russell with them. Where do you think they'll land seed-wise?
Golden State.
I think they'll still land top 3, maybe top 2.
Let's see. I think the Lakers are a higher seed. I think Dallas might be
You
a
know,
higher
Lakers
seed.
only have 3 players right now, right?
They're going to
4
be
players
fine
now.
once they get Iggy. Dallas might be a higher seed. Who else? I'll give them the 3rd seed.
Rockets.
Oh my gosh, how could I forget the Rockets?
Yeah.
Actually, I think the Rockets are going to...
The Rockets may
Something's
have one of those
wrong.
years where
Yeah.
it's...
There's something in their head, isn't
Although, last year they started, 11-14, like something weird bad at the beginning of the year. There was tons of chemistry, and then everyone was like, oh, they may be the team to knock off Golden State again. So things can change, because that was during the season, so...
I agree.
You never know. You never know. Yeah, so are you actually excited for this Iggy move, or is that kind of just you inflating things?
Me inflating things. It'll be good to have him on the... I mean, they need players, whether he starts or comes off the bench. He would probably do both, right?
Yeah.
They need players.
They need shooters, though, is like... Even you said it at the end of last year. Because at AD, he can shoot, don't get me wrong, but he's not a shooter. Like, that's really what they need.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen is they're going to sign one more big name.
Yeah.
I still think it might be Kawhi. And then every shooter in the league is going to be lining up to get a 1-year contract with them because they know they're going to the championship.
And who knows, I heard stuff today about J.R. Smith and possibly Kyle Korver, them going back with LeBron. So who knows? Maybe
I'll take
if
Korver.
they just get them with AD and LeBron, maybe that works. Maybe that's the best
I'll
team.
take JR too because even JR with his bonehead moves. He's had some good.
Talk about the Warriors. Well, and that brings me back to the one last point I was going to say about the Warriors is I would say that win in 2017 when I was talking about how the Warriors won 4-1. The only Cavs win was at Game 4 where, again, they were down 3-0, and that's never happened, so it was kind of over anyways. But I would say that was probably actually their most dominant because they beat a team that still had Kyrie and LeBron and Love. And, again, the Cavs did kind of – some of the losses were a little self-inflicted, but the Warriors won. But I was going to say, long story short, back to that Game 1 in the 2018 championship – it's like the Warriors couldn't even shut down in Game 1 a LeBron who had 51 points. They know he's the only guy that can do anything. He had 51 like 8-8, I think, or something like that.
I know.
Probably shot efficiently like he always does. And if it weren't for a stupid bonehead move that I've never seen happen watching basketball by J.R. Smith, they probably would have won that game. And people don't believe it, and we're both a little biased to LeBron, but that changes everything. They probably could have won the series. So that team, to kind of go on your side with this, that, maybe they're not that dominant, but who knows? All right, what do you think about the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think they're interesting? Kyrie and KD now?
I already said I think they're psycho.
Yeah.
I'll believe it. Well, the other thing that about that whole deal is it's gonna when is KD coming back?
No, I think he's out for the whole season. So
it's just gonna be Kyrie and his gang, whoever
in
that
his
is.
antics, and they are getting DeAndre Jordan. That was kind of brought up and stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't really know if that does anything because he can't shoot free throws still to save his life. Got a little bit better, but still struggles. Not a shooter. Definitely not 3-point. Not even a little bit of mid-range. He can dunk, I guess, and get rebounds, which helps. But I did hear an interesting point that KD being out could be bad not only for him and the Nets, but for Kyrie because he'll get this idea that, oh, it's my team. Get used to being the man.
It's going to be psycho
and it's going to be even worse than it already is with both those guys being on the team.
Psycho time. There's a reason they get along together.
Because they're both
there's a reason they're buddies off the
as you put it lightly.
It's like,
yeah,
there's
I don't
something
know.
wrong there.
But, I mean, yeah, I feel like they're probably just interesting and kind of just a good watch because of all the drama. But, frankly, for me, I don't even really appreciate the drama that they bring because those two guys, it's interesting responses to media questions, and again, a lot of sensitivity, frankly. I feel like And so, yeah, when they're both back, it'll be entertaining because it'll be good and crazy. But right now, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to follow and see how they behave. But I don't know if they'll do much this year. They don't have that much other than just Kyrie. Um, all right. And so my team, the Heat, if you didn't notice me also talk about them for a bunch earlier, even though it wasn't very significant, they got a big signing in Jimmy Butler. He actually went in a sign-in trade, and what that basically means is the Heat had, in case you kind of want an explanation on this, again, I'm not any genius with the cap stuff, but basically what they did is they kind of went big time into the luxury tax with overpaying kind of mediocre level players because they weren't getting any big free agents since the LeBron thing. And so that's why they've been quiet recently, because they haven't had room to sign any big stars. But with the sign and trade, they were able to trade away some of those salaries, like Richardson, and I think they got rid of it may have been actually Dragic that left to the trade. But basically what happened is the Mavericks thought they were getting in a 3-team trade Derek Jones Jr. and Kelly Olynyk from the Heat, but the Heat were actually trying to send Dragic to the Mavericks, and so there was like $1.7 million left that weren't figured for, and so that's why overnight apparently it seemed like Jimmy Butler may not even go to the Heat at first, but they figured it out, and I forgot the details of it now, but I think
Where's
that
Dragic going? Is he still going to Dallas?
Holy
Holy moly!
I don't
That'd be good.
I don't think it was Dragic that left. I'm gonna fact check that, but I mean, what do you think about all that?
I think Miami's a great place for Jimmy. They needed a Jimmy buckets, and Miami's like San Antonio.
Yeah,
They're always solid, and they're gonna figure it out.
I mean, the thing that I think works in both Miami and Jimmy Butler's favor is that while they don't have one alpha player like LeBron or whatever that will kind of take that role of when Jimmy has those antics of getting mad at players, they can take the heat. While they don't have that, the Heat have definitely one of the most established cultures, and Eric Spoelstra has been a coach there longer than I think every other coach has been in his team except Popovich, and so that definitely sets a tone to have the culture established there, and something that Jimmy Butler can buy into, because then I feel like if he has that, then he doesn't have to do as much, messing with the young players being urgent. Because you got to remember in Minnesota, before he left there was some stuff, that him and Tom Thibodeau, I feel like I heard that they at first got along in Chicago, but I think his coaching style didn't fit or something like that. But Miami, they're definitely established, but I just personally hope it doesn't go the other way it could, and Jimmy Butler come and disrupt all that, because
I don't think
that'd be kind of annoying to me. But
I think it's gonna work.
Yeah, so it was
It's a good one.
The deal. I'm kind of reading it here. So yeah, they actually signed him to a big contract, 4 years, $142 million, and the Heat. Also today, I don't know if you saw this, but they got rid of Whiteside. He's going to the Trailblazers, and the Heat are getting Myers Leonard, and someone else is getting Maurice Harkless. This one is still outdated because it still says Mo Harkless is going to the Heat, but I read that has actually changed recently. I'll be very, very frank with you, it's all a whole bunch of chaos, organized chaos.
Do you just sit around and read this stuff?
I just sit around and read everything that pops up on my phone with it, yeah.
That's good.
It's great. It's awesome drama.
It's good for your reading.
It is. Yeah, so it says here the Mavericks had interest in getting Dragic, but I think that changed to something else. But yeah, so if Dragic goes to the Mavericks, that's a big team. But yeah, so the Heat also had to get rid of Josh Richardson in that trade, who I talked about earlier. A lot of people don't know about him, but I'm kind of bummed because he was like my next Heat guy to love and be the player. That was my favorite because he was going to be their guy. He's a good shooter, really selfless, just a fun guy, enjoys playing basketball. I watched a lot of his off-the-court stuff on Instagram. He's just really fun and goofy and kind of weird in a fun way. But, yeah, so they had to get rid of him. He's going to the Sixers. And, again, that'll kind of help the Sixers because they added a shooter and they kind of already have one a little bit in Tobias Harris, although not really his primary role. But the thing is, with Ben Simmons not being a shooter at all, his role right now is to drive and kick and do all that. And before it was Redick, but I'd still say Redick's a better shooter than Richardson. But to fill in that spot with Richardson, that's not too bad a move. So, again, that'll help them. But
Not bad
I
at
already
all.
kind of mentioned the Sixers. But and, of course, I mean, if we talk about the Heat, we got to give a little bit of a emotional moment to D. Wade. His last season, so many. Oh, my God.
It's over.
Where'd the
Dylan.
show go? Yeah. It's over. We got to move on. But I mean, yeah, the Heat, they got their star now. And I can't complain. As a fan, I've actually really enjoyed what they've been doing because they've been relevant every year, like, to fight in the playoffs because they don't tank. They actually put in effort, and they're known for the team culture, playing hard and being good teammates and all that, and they've had some fun players with that. But again, it's been no one that anyone who isn't a Heat fan would know other than like maybe Dragic, kind of Whiteside. And to be frank, I'm kind of glad they got rid of Whiteside. He had some issues with the coaching staff, I think, and some weird effort stuff. It would literally be frustrating watching him in their one playoff series they got last 2 years against the Sixers when he would try not to get a rebound. You could tell when he was frustrated he wasn't getting the ball. But the way I talked to him is like I heard our coach at this high school, Bobby Sanders, say one time, like, if you want the ball, go get a rebound and put it back up or something like that, you know? Like, they're not passing it to you because you can't shoot. That's what it was with Whiteside, and that's why most players are shooters, even if they're centers now. But, yeah, so that's my Heat. I think they'll be relevant now. And they clear a little cap room by getting rid of those couple of guys and Whiteside, so they'll be fun to watch. Jimmy Butler, notable guy.
I agree.
All right, now, because I know you want to rant about this, the Lakers. They have, if you don't know, LeBron, Raymond James, and they have Anthony Davis, and they have Kyle Kuzma. And today they signed to a really small, I think $2.1 million contract, Troy Daniels, who played at some point for the Rockets. A really small role player, but those are the four players they officially have now. So what do you think? Kawhi to the Lakers?
I still think Kawhi's going to the Lakers. Why would Kawhi go to the Clippers? What does Kawhi get by going to the Clippers?
If he has any of that I want to be the man thing in him, I feel like he might choose that.
He is the man. I mean, he's proven he's the man.
Yeah, he has.
He's one of the...
Two championships.
He's like I said, watching him this last one, he's the new LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
He's my new favorite behind LeBron. Because wherever he goes, they're going to win championships, and he knows that. And the people going there know that.
Yeah,
And I
for
think
sure.
so. No, but really, who does LA have now? The Clippers, or would it be? Are they just
They
going to
have-
build around him? I mean,
They have Patrick Beverly. They kind of have, I guess, what the Heat have. Like, they have a good team culture, all that type of stuff.
Right.
But honestly, they don't, kind of like the Heat, they don't have any stars till
it's a
like,
good
Jimmy
it's a good
Butler.
team culture that's never won a championship.
Like Patrick Beverly
Right.
is their only notable
yeah,
player.
Patrick
I'd
Beverly's
say.
fun. He's fun, but he's.
But then the
Patrick
other guys
Beverley.
are only guys you remember if you watch their playoffs and their big wins against the Warriors. Like, you know, they had... Well, at a time they had Tobias Harris, but they traded him. But, you know, they had, like, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who just has a fun name, and Montrezl Harrell was fun. But it's just fun guys, effort guys. They need a star.
So what I'm looking forward to is when Kawhi signs with the Lakers this week, and everybody can continue talking about how no one wants to play with LeBron, which is Everybody forgot that. That's what they're saying. Well, maybe AD doesn't want to go there. He's going to look around. No, AD was going to LA to play with Braun.
I think there's some truth to the rumor.
I think
it was one of those things
there's
where
truth to it if you're psycho, Kyrie, psycho KD. Yeah, Clay, he would have gone and played with them. Steph would play with them. Everybody in the Warriors roster would play with LeBron.
Yeah.
You've never heard any of them speak ill of LeBron.
But it's one of those things though, every one of these players, they think about everything that the media says about them and all this, and in that same aspect, you just can't help thinking, because all this stuff happens that, in that time, Kyrie left him, and then his teams, the Cavs and the Lakers, have made it very public that they're trying to get players, and that LeBron has had that kind of invisible hand of control, but they haven't gotten the stars. And so I totally understand the rumors that maybe people don't want to play with him, but I think more of what it was is that for that 3-year span, I guess it was, I think he just got unlucky with the timing, that he was the big star and still kind of the villain, and because he's so polarizing that I feel like people just wanted to point fingers and blame something on him. That guy, he can't get away from flack from anything, and I think that was just another case of it. I think that's just what it was. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I think it was people trying to create a story.
Yeah, definitely.
And KD probably doesn't want to play with them,
but I'm just saying, if people were trying to create a story, that was a good pick for one, the most legit, because it had some.
KD doesn't want to do a lot of things. I'm not gonna.
But people call KD sensitive and bad with the media and stuff, but that doesn't control anything on the floor. So yeah, LeBron, not worthy of the criticism, but it had to make you think, for 3 years his teams made it public they're trying to get people that he was involved in, versus a star that is having trouble getting people to play with him, but the teams aren't making it so available to the public that they're trying to play. So maybe it's a little bit on the Cavs front office and the Lakers front office, who have also been known to not be super reliable. What else do you think?
What else do I think?
Yeah.
I've talked about the Lakers. I'm good with the Lakers. I think they're going to win it all. I really do.
See, this is where I think he's a little bit psycho. I think they have some pieces that still need to put together.
You don't think
give them a roster by the beginning of the season? You don't think?
Well, they have a roster by the beginning. You don't think if they get Kawhi, they're not?
No.
Vegas agrees with me. Vegas has already made them the odds-on favorite to win it all next year.
Let me clarify something.
That was before AD signed.
That's true, and so it proves that Vegas maybe knows stuff about who's going to go where.
Well, what it proves is what they're take some of the stories out of it.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron plays for championships.
Yeah,
that's all they're doing. Is
he does.
Odds are more on LeBron than they are Golden State.
Yeah.
Golden State, they lost KD. Anyway, that's what I think.
No, to clarify, I think that if they get Kawhi, which I do think the odds are likely that they will, because the tide has kind of turned, that this team that seemed all dysfunctional, suddenly the dust is kind of settled, and the fact that they got AD out of that, I feel like they're kind of getting a reputation these guys can get it done still.
Mm-hmm.
They're still the Los Angeles Lakers. And so if Kawhi goes there, he's a absolute superstar, one of the best players in the league, probably going to go down as one of the best ever. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
For now, maybe top 15, 20 range, but maybe even higher when he's done. But yeah, and he's a shooter and just legend and super clutch. So if they get him, that changes everything.
Yeah.
But it'd be even better if they got him and got a average level star that can shoot. That's kind of plays point guard position. Yeah, that's just my ideal fit for the Lakers. I feel like they just need some of that. But again, people are forgetting that they could sign your man J.R. Swish or Kyle Korver or those guys, and LeBron had success when he just got a bunch of shooters, guys that just took their shots, and LeBron kicked it out to them, and King James controlled the floor. But yeah, do you think they win it this year?
I've said that 3 times. absolutely
3.
win it.
Exactly. And do you think they win it next year?
If they get Kawhi,
Then you think it's back-to-back?
they can easily go back-to-back. They could go 3-peat with Kawhi.
What about 4-peat?
Kawhi and AD? Well, they could. They probably could. LeBron's getting old, but
You do have to think that.
Kawhi and AD are a lot younger than LeBron. I mean, Kawhi carried the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
He was amazing in that series. So
You do have to think that if they can pull that together and win it this year relatively easily, relatively smooth, then next year, well, what changes? You have maybe
that's what I mean.
You have maybe KD coming back, but like that's again him and Kyrie. There's gonna be too much chemistry issues there that it's not gonna work. I feel like, and so yeah, who's gonna compete with them? Because there's no one. And with that could cause some guys to be like, "Hey, we should go play with LeBron again." The guys who maybe didn't want to play with him, but yeah. Oh, I'm interested. Who do you think? Because I know you've already admitted that they're gonna win, but who do you think they're gonna play from the East? I'm curious.
I haven't even thought about that. Who do you think?
I feel like they will play the. Who will they play from the East? I feel like they will play the Celtics.
I could see that.
Because I feel like the Celtics are going to revamp that culture we're talking about, and they still have a start point guard, one that doesn't have issues. And
Yeah.
I
can see that.
Yeah. So I feel like they'll kind of get through that again. Because the Bucks, everyone always predicts the Bucks, but by the way, shout out to my prediction here. I said Toronto almost the whole way from about like mid-season.
From the beginning.
And all these guys, including this guy right here, kept saying like, oh, well, I don't know if you were saying Milwaukee, but you wanted Milwaukee initially even in that series. Remember that? And I said Raptors because of the Kawhi experience, Finals MVPs and stuff, and that matters. And again, the Bucks, now they kind of have it with Giannis. But watching that series, he was so pretty passive, honestly. They have some good role players and stuff, but they're not someone you buy into. It took Toronto, speaking of the devil, like a good 5-6 years to even be relevant. But
yeah.
All right.
I think
well,
you're right.
I think that's for our first podcast. I think we should call it quits there, right? He's kind of playing around with my pen and paper.
I think
I'm
good.
He's done now.
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good too. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
It's fun.
You know a lot more about the NBA than I do.
It's fun having you as a guest. It's fun to have the ebbs and flows be in it, to make it real. I kind of like that.
It is. It's fun.
I want it to be a little bit of the brand if we keep this going. This is fun. I'll do it again. I'll check you guys out again. Or you guys check me out again.